Hello, everyone, and welcome back to the Fashion Files podcast. This week we are on episode 4, and I am still so confused at how it's already episode 4. I feel like time is going by so fast, but at the same time, it's really going by slow. This week has been a crazy week. I am currently recording this on November 5th. It's a Thursday, and it's about 1:15. So just to give you guys a little bit of context, because the US election is this week, or it's turning into this week. Election day was on Tuesday. It's now Thursday. At the time I am recording this, we still do not have technically a winner. I'm hoping that by the end of the day we'll know something. I feel like all I've done the past 2 days is watch the news and just keep refreshing like the New York Times and all of those to try and see what's going on. So that's just a little bit of context for you guys because this week's episode is a little bit different than the previous two. This week, I'm doing a weekly fashion news recap. I really want to go into a lot of the fashion news happening this week, a lot of things going on all around the world, and how those are going to be affecting the fashion industry. So it'll be a little bit different compared to what I usually do with just sticking to one topic. But I thought this was a good week for this with everything going on in the world. It's been a really crazy week, so I figured this was very timely. So, getting straight into the episode, a few pieces of news going on right now. Parts of Italy have just gone back into lockdown. I believe most of Milan is in lockdown and a lot of the industrial parts of the country. So, this I think is going to be interesting to examine as time goes on to see how these lockdowns are going to change production, especially moving towards the holidays and seeing. I know there's tons of supply chain issues right now already, and we haven't even locked down everywhere again yet. So I think this will be interesting to keep looking at to see how this does affect the fashion industry's production moving forward. Another thing to look at is lockdowns happening all over. I think the majority of the UK is on lockdown, I believe. I know Paris, I think other parts in France as well. So I think this is also going to be something interesting to look at how European luxury retail stores are going to be taking these probably huge losses because I believe all of the retail stores had to close in Paris. And I'm assuming elsewhere, wherever else lockdowns are taking place because they are non essential businesses. So, and especially as we're getting right up to the holidays season, I want to say Paris lockdown and maybe the UK was like 4 weeks, which, seen as it's November 5th now, that's going to put us right into December, early December, late November, which is right when holiday shopping typically picks up. So I think it's going to be interesting for us to take a look at moving forward as we do get closer to December, how people are shopping this year for gifts and all of that sort of thing. If stores aren't open, are they going to do online, or will people be doing gifts at all? It's going to be interesting to see how this impacts retail because holiday is typically the biggest time of year for retail, especially luxury retail. So it will be interesting to see if some of these bigger brands can actually keep customers, keep numbers up with the holidays coming. And then I talked about this a few minutes ago, the US election, which is just, I feel like a mess. So, as I said, as I'm recording this, there's no winner announced. No one's really for sure on how long it's going to take. Everyone's saying different things. And it's interesting to see what this means for the fashion industry. Politics heavily affects the fashion industry in a lot of different areas. Just to look at a few, we're talking about trade, tariffs, the US's reputation, stricter environmental regulations, working conditions, and the economy here. All of these things really play into the fashion industry in one way or another. So it's going to be interesting to see once we do have a winner, sort of how that winner will impact the fashion industry in terms of economics, obviously reputation and trade and tariffs. So that's something to keep an eye on too. These three things that we just sort of talked about sort of are all going on now. In a few minutes, I'm going to talk to you guys about what we're looking at looking forward. But these three right now are things we need to be keeping a little close eye on. It'll be interesting to see some of the statistics and things that come from these as we do look forward. And then looking forward. So I really wanted to include a looking forward section because there's some really exciting things coming up for the fashion industry. One, I know today Gucci just announced they have created a 7-episode miniseries, and the title of this is going to be Overture of Something That Never Ended. And this is going to present the new collection at what they are calling Gucci Fest. This is going to be a fashion and film festival, and although they're also showing their 7-episode miniseries here, they're also going to be spotlighting 15 young designers' new fashion films. So it's going to be a really interesting opportunity to see a lot of new fashion films. Hopefully, I'll get the chance to watch all of these and we can talk about it on here a little bit. This is going to be taking place during November 16th through the 22nd. So if you're looking for something to do, if you're currently in lockdown, or you think you're going to be in lockdown by then, this is definitely something to watch. So keep an eye out for that. It's actually going to be directed by Gus Van Sant, who did Good Will Hunting, and Alessandro Michele. It's going to also be starring a ton of artists. A few names already announced: Billie Eilish, Jeremy O. Harris, Harry Styles, Florence the Machine, Arlo Parks, and a few more. And you can actually watch it. I believe it's going to be on YouTube Fashion, GucciFest.com, and YouTube. So this is the first thing we are seeing Gucci do since May, when Alessandro announced that Gucci would not be constrained by the typical seasonality of the traditional fashion calendar. So he did not show at Spring Summer 2021. So this is the first time we're really seeing Alessandro, what he's going to be doing with this change and not sticking to the seasonality of the traditional fashion calendar. So I'm very excited to see what he presents. I have mentioned in, I think, the last episode, I really love Alessandro's vision. I think he's really creative and just his aesthetics fit very well into my personal aesthetics. So I'm very excited to see how this takes a turn. I know another series that we will all be watching, November 15th, is The Crown Season 4. I'm really excited, obviously, to see Princess Diana, played by Emma Corrin. The wedding dress, I'm sure, is going to be, I've seen photos, it looks really amazing. I can't wait to see, though, like, just how they've styled Emma for the role of Diana and what direction they sort of go in with her. From the photos I've seen so far, I'm very excited. Maybe I will do a review on the wardrobing of that, but for now, I'm just really excited to watch. I also love The Crown, just plot-wise. I think it's super interesting, and I'm really into British culture, so definitely very excited to watch that. And then moving into December, we have Voices 2020, which is the Business of Fashion's annual gathering. Typically, I believe it's in person. This year, it's on a broadcast featuring a ton of people in the fashion industry that are going to have super interesting takes. So a few of them: Virgil Abloh, Jonathan Anderson, Kim Jones, Remo Ruffini, and a ton more. I will include links down below to a bunch of articles and stuff that I found that you guys might be interested in, and then also links to this. Only Business of Fashion professionals members can sign up for it, but you can also sign up for a Business of Fashion professional member 30-day trial, and that will give you access to it. I am a Business of Fashion professional member. I would highly recommend it. I just think it's a great resource if you're interested in fashion. Their articles are the best out there. I tend to check it every morning or every other morning. They just have such great articles. And that will be going on December 1st through the 3rd. So once again, if you're anticipating that you're going to be in lockdown or you're just staying at home more than usual, like everyone should be, this is something fun to watch, take part in. You can learn a lot for sure. And the Business of Fashion usually does, like, they have a lot of like different like Zoom events and stuff. So if you're someone that's interested in watching more and getting involved with more of that, I will try and include some links down below. I've actually watched a few of their little Zoom conferences so far over the past few months, and they're really great. They're really well put together, and I would definitely recommend them if you're interested in fashion and learning more about fashion. And that is it for today, guys. Thank you so much for listening. Next week, I'm hoping to have a little bit of a longer episode. This week, obviously, with all of the craziness in the world and me watching the news probably way too much, I prepped this episode and I would have loved to have done something a little bit longer, but with everything going on, I feel like it just didn't allow it. And I wanted to keep it a little bit shorter too, so you guys can keep updated on everything else that's happening in the world. I don't want to take up too much of your time, although I appreciate your time. Obviously, thank you so much for listening. But yeah, next week, expect something a little bit longer. And thank you guys. Enjoy the rest of your day.